Well, I did get in a car in this weather. I think we all did.
Okay, all right, that's
you
pretty
know,
close.
That's
Yeah.
close. Every day's pretty exciting.
Every day's pretty exciting.
Every day's, because
Okay.
every day's a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially a mission movie.
When two Hollywood powerhouses like Russell Crowe and Tom Cruise share the screen, sparks are bound to fly, but not always the good kind. Behind the scenes, their relationship has been anything but smooth.
For years, Russell Crowe and Tom Cruise's relationship has been a topic of intrigue and speculation in Hollywood.
Their chaotic partnership became a well-known industry saga. Now Russell Crowe is breaking his silence on the real challenges of working with one of the biggest stars on the planet. What exactly did he say? In this video, we will reveal what Russell Crowe said to break his silence about Tom Cruise.
As a friend of Nicole Kidman, I got to know Tom Cruise quite well. And I was in the video store, and there was like a, $2.50 on sale special video on Scientology.
The Hollywood career of Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe. Before Tom Cruise became really famous, he and Russell Crowe already had some tension between them. Their problems got worse years later when they worked together on a movie together. But before all that, Tom Cruise became a worldwide star in 1986 when he played the role of Pete Maverick Mitchell in Top Gun. The movie was a massive success, earning $357 million on just a $15 million budget. Fans were drawn to his cool, confident character, and the movie's influence reached beyond the screen. After its release, sales of Ray-Ban aviator sunglasses jumped by 40%, showing how much Cruise's performance impacted pop culture. Years later, in 1996, he took on Mission Impossible, a role that would define his career for decades. Cruise not only starred in, but also produced all 7 films in the franchise, which together have made over $3.5 billion globally. What made these films stand out wasn't just the action, but the fact that Cruise insisted on doing most of the stunts himself. He didn't rely heavily on computer effects like many action stars. Instead, he trained hard and performed real stunts, which kept the movies fresh and exciting even after so many years. No other actor has led an action franchise for such a long time with the same level of commitment and success. So how did it go wrong for him? Stay tuned for more details. Cruise's stunt work has become a huge part of his image. In Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Part 1, he rode a motorcycle off a cliff and base jumped into a ravine. To get ready for that one moment, he trained for 6 months and did over 500 practice jumps. In Rogue Nation, he held his breath underwater for 6 minutes, something very few people in the world can do. And in Fallout, he performed a dangerous military skydive known as a halo jump from 25,000 feet in the air. These moments weren't just added thrills. They were proof of his dedication to making action scenes feel real and intense. Still, Cruise has shown that he's more than just an action star. His dramatic roles have earned him respect as a serious actor. In Jerry Maguire, he played a sports agent dealing with love and ambition. That role brought him a Golden Globe win and an Oscar nomination, while also earning $273 million at the box office. Before that, in A Few Good Men, he delivered a powerful performance opposite Jack Nicholson in a courtroom drama. The film became iconic, and Cruise's ability to command attention in intense dialogue scenes showed a different side of his acting skills. Over the years, more than 30 of his films have earned over $100 million each, and overall, his movies have made billions worldwide. Even after being in the industry for decades, Cruise continues to break box office records, proving that his popularity has never faded. Now, Russell Crowe's rise to fame was very different, but just as impressive. His breakout moment came from 2 very bold Australian films in the early 1990s. In 1992, he played a violent neo-Nazi in Romper Stomper, a shocking and intense role that got people's attention right away. His performance was so strong that critics compared him to Malcolm McDowell's wild character in A Clockwork Orange. He won a major acting award in Australia for it and quickly became a rising star. Just 2 years later, Crowe surprised everyone by playing a kind and sensitive gay plumber named Jeff Mitchell in The Sum of Us. This role showed he could be emotional and caring, far different from his previous tough character. The movie did well in Australia and won awards for its storytelling, helping Crowe build a strong reputation as a versatile actor. Once he arrived in Hollywood, Crowe's career took off fast. Between 1999 and 2001, he was nominated for an Oscar 3 years in a row for The Insider, Gladiator, and A Beautiful Mind. He won the Oscar for Gladiator, where he played Maximus, a Roman warrior fighting for justice. The movie earned over $465 million and won 5 Oscars, including Best Picture. Then, in A Beautiful Mind, he played John Nash, a brilliant but troubled mathematician, and his performance earned him even more awards like a Golden Globe and a BAFTA. Crowe even made history by starring in 2 Best Picture winners back-to-back. In The Insider, he went through a full physical transformation by gaining 35 pounds and changing his look completely, proving he was willing to go to great lengths for a role. Crowe's talents didn't stop with acting. In 2014, he directed The Water Diviner, a historical drama that won awards in Australia and was praised by many viewers. He also has a long history with music. Over the years, he's been part of bands like 30 Odd Foot of Grunts and Indoor Garden Party. In 2024, his band, The Gentleman Barbers, performed in Leeds, playing songs by artists like Nick Cave and Leonard Cohen. His love for music started early. He once sang on the streets for money and even released a song titled "I Just Want to Be Like Marlon Brando." Music has always been an important part of his life and identity. The story of how Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe met is also worth noting. They first met in the summer of 1992 at a casual barbecue in Sydney. The event was hosted by actress Naomi Watts and brought together a few people from the film industry. At the time, Crowe was just starting to make a name for himself in Australia, while Cruise was already one of the biggest stars in the world, married to Nicole Kidman and earning top dollar in Hollywood. Nicole Kidman had been keeping an eye on Crowe's work and was impressed by his talent. At the barbecue, she introduced him to Cruise, having already talked to her husband about Crowe's performances and even shown him some of his films. This wasn't just a quick introduction. It turned into a deep conversation between the two actors that lasted for hours. What surprised Crowe most was how Cruise had actually taken the time to watch his movies, like Proof and Spotswood. Cruise didn't act like a superstar. He asked genuine questions about Crowe's acting process and the Australian film industry. For Crowe, who was just starting to get international attention, this moment felt unreal. Later, when Crowe spoke about his directorial debut, The Water Diviner, he shared an interesting story about a chat he once had with Cruise that involved Scientology. It began when Crowe was at a video store and saw a special offer for a Scientology video. Out of curiosity and as a sign of friendship toward Nicole Kidman, he bought it and watched it. Later, he brought it up casually in a conversation with Cruise. He wasn't sure what kind of reaction he would get, but Cruise handled it very calmly. Instead of getting defensive or trying to convince Crowe of anything, Cruise simply said, "If it's important to you, man, you'll do something about it." That sentence left a strong impression on Crowe. He saw Cruise as relaxed, respectful, and easy to talk to despite his fame. However, their friendship didn't last forever. In 2001, when Cruise and Nicole Kidman divorced after 10 years of marriage, it caused a major shakeup in Hollywood. By then, Crowe had become close to both of them. But when the split happened, he made a clear decision to stand by Nicole since he knew how bad Tom had behaved. Cruise's team reportedly tried to convince Crowe to distance himself from her, but Crowe refused. He even told them to back off. It gets worse from here. Keep watching. The tension between Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe. The tension between the two actors finally boiled over in 2017 when the two were cast together in The Mummy. It was their first time sharing the screen, and everyone expected a powerful collaboration. What they got instead was a working relationship full of conflict and tension. One of the film's biggest scenes was a fight between their characters. It looked intense on screen, but behind the scenes, it was even more brutal. The scene took 4 days to film, and both men, even in their 50s, refused to use stunt doubles. They insisted on doing everything themselves, throwing each other into glass, smashing into walls, flipping over tables, completely destroying the set in the process. Crew members were on edge, afraid they'd actually injure each other. Neither of them wanted to back down, which made the situation even more volatile. Off camera, things weren't much better. The tension was obvious. People on set started taking sides. Some aligned with Tom Cruise, who had a strong, clear vision for the movie and was known for taking control. Others leaned toward Russell Crowe, who preferred deep character work and a more traditional approach to storytelling. The two actors clashed constantly, not just over scenes, but over the entire direction of the film. Tom had a unique level of control. His contract gave him the power to make script decisions, oversee editing, and even bring in his own writers. And that's exactly what he did. He reshaped the script to focus more on his character, sidelining other roles, including Crowe's. This didn't sit well with Russell, who believed in balanced storytelling and thought the changes hurt the movie. The underlying personal tension added fuel to the fire. Russell had remained close to Nicole Kidman for years, and working with Tom brought up old feelings. In interviews, he admitted that breakups like theirs are heavy. Seeing Tom again reminded him of everything that happened back then: the friendship, the fallout, and the fact that he had chosen to support Nicole when things fell apart. It wasn't just about creative disagreements. There were years of emotional baggage wrapped up in that movie, and neither actor seemed ready to unpack it. What could have been a powerhouse team-up turned into a project marked by quiet conflict and frustration. But Russell wasn't the only one to struggle with Tom. Over the years, several actors and celebrities have shared stories about difficult moments with Cruise. In 2005, he publicly criticized Brooke Shields for using antidepressants to treat postpartum depression. Shields had opened up in her memoir about how Paxil helped her during a very dark time after the birth of her daughter. Instead of showing support, Tom called her actions irresponsible during a Today Show interview. He said she didn't need medication and claimed vitamins and exercise were better solutions. He even took a dig at her acting career, asking where it had gone. Brooke responded with a powerful article in the New York Times, saying Cruise should stick to fighting aliens and leave mental health to the professionals. Her message was clear. He didn't understand what women like her were going through. To his credit, Tom did later apologize. He visited Shields at her home and said sorry for the way he spoke. While he didn't change his stance on medication, Shields accepted the apology and they eventually made peace. She was even invited to his wedding to Katie Holmes in Italy, showing that even after a public clash, Tom was sometimes willing to mend fences. Get ready for another epic moment in the video: Tom Cruise's relationship with other actors. Another actor who had a hard time working with Tom was Thandie Newton. During Mission Impossible 2, she recalled a night shoot in Spain that turned into a stressful mess. The scene involved a balcony argument between their characters, but the director, John Woo, didn't speak English. That left the actors to figure things out on their own. Tom didn't like the way Thandiwe was delivering her lines, and instead of working through it calmly, he suggested they switch roles. She would act as him, and he would play her part. While he thought it might help, it only made her feel worse. She felt insecure, like she was doing everything wrong. Tom has also faced criticism from other actors. In 2022, Mickey Rourke went on Piers Morgan Uncensored and made headlines by calling Cruise irrelevant. This was during the high point of Top Gun. Maverick's success, it had just passed $1 billion at the box office. But Rourke wasn't impressed. He said Cruise hadn't taken real risks as an actor and that his work lacked depth. For Rourke, being a great actor wasn't about box office numbers. It was about transformation, vulnerability, and bold choices. To him, Cruise's action-heavy career didn't measure up. Another memorable clash was during that same Today Show interview in 2005, where Matt Lauer challenged Cruise's beliefs about psychiatry. The interview started out normally, but quickly turned tense. Tom's Scientology background played a big role. He believed psychiatry was a fake science and argued there was no such thing as a chemical imbalance. When Lauer tried to push back, Cruise doubled down, accusing him of being uninformed and insisting that Shield's use of medication was harmful. It was one of the most intense interviews ever aired on morning TV and showed just how committed Tom was to his beliefs, even when it put him at odds with others. Leah Remini, once a Scientologist herself, has since spoken out about Tom and his behavior. After a recording leaked of him yelling at crew members on the Mission Impossible set during COVID-19, many praised him for being strict about safety, but Leah claimed it was all a performance. According to her, Scientologists don't even take the pandemic seriously. She also shared stories about Tom's anger behind the scenes, like the time he reportedly lost it because his staff didn't bring the right cookie ingredients. That meltdown caused 5 crew members to quit. For Remini, these outbursts weren't about discipline. They were about ego. Tom Cruise and John Travolta also have a tense rivalry within the church. Their competition reportedly intensified in 2008 when Cruise received Scientology's top honor, the Freedom Medal of Valor, a move that deeply upset Travolta, who believed he was the church's most loyal member. Travolta was so angry, he skipped Cruise's high-profile wedding to Katie Holmes. Sources claim Cruise receives special treatment, including lavish gifts and direct access to leader David Miscavige, while Travolta is sidelined. Though Scientology denies these claims, the tension between the two stars continues to fuel rumors and behind-the-scenes drama. What are your thoughts about these complaints made against Tom Cruise? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Click on the next video displayed on your screen. You will enjoy it.